What's going on with my camera?
I don't know. Maybe it's off.
It's probably this.
That was a joke, by the way.
You're always joking.
No, come on.
No, this camera was on a minute ago, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh, there we go. There it is.
Okay.
How about that then?
Okay, so first things first. First things first. Listen, how come?
I can see you clearly.
How comes we're having to do this again?
Oh, bloody hell.
How comes we're having to do this again, Mike?
Well, I think there was not quite sure, but I think it was a good thing because I think the first one was practice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm putting it down to. Maybe you two might have a different opinion.
I've got a very different opinion. I don't know about you, Win.
But nobody wants to hear it.
He's the manager here. Put it that way.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Yes. So are we all good?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, really tired today for some reason. Like it's Friday, isn't it? It's been a long day, and a long week. So yeah, I'm absolutely knackered, to be honest with you, gents. But you know what? We got to do what we got to do.
And we're here.
Absolutely.
It's a good thing.
100%.
Okay. So, welcome to the Let's Be Honest podcast. My name is, what was my name? Yeah, Inchai. And you can call me Inchai.
Inchai, and you can call me Inchai. I love it.
Yeah. And I'll let my two esteemed colleagues introduce themselves.
Mr. Phillips, you go for it, sir.
Okay, my name's Winston Phillips, and I've known Michael and Nick since I was 11 years old. I'm now 55, so we've known one another well over 40 years now. So, that's me in a nutshell.
Okay. Wow. Again, obviously, it's kind of ditto. Nick Dwyer. I've known these two, I'm not going to use the term gentleman, for a long time. Mike, so there's not a lot else to say, but Mike, this podcast that we're starting, and we're all going to take turns on kind of hosting it, but down to you, sir, to start it off.
Thank you. So, what's this podcast about? Well, it's an area. I'm not going to use the word community, but it's a space where people like ourselves can exchange thoughts, opinions, ideas in a respectful way. Is there a right or wrong answer? I suppose we'll kind of figure that out along the way, but definitely there'll be opinions. I can guarantee you that. And hopefully if it works well, which we think it will, we might be able to learn something along the way. And we hope anybody that might be happening to tune in will be able to learn something too. So that's what we're kind of aiming at. Would that be fair to say?
Sure. I think it's like the podcast designer called it. It's Let's Be Honest. So we're just a group of guys having an honest discussion about things in general. And I think the topic that we're talking about today is friendship. So long may it continue, and hopefully this is a good start today.
And just on that, just to set some context, I think you guys had a previous podcast, which I wasn't part of, where you discussed this very topic. And my first question to you both, how did that go?
Go for it, Win. What do you think?
Want to touch on that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think it went really well. And me and Nick discussed friendship and our friendship and the friendships that we've had with people like yourself, Mike, and others that we know very well over the years. And I think it helped me kind of find out or understand some of those qualities that we've kind of put into that relationship over those years. And it's been an eye-opener to a certain degree on what those qualities were that facilitated, our development as friends. I think me and Nick, we spoke about, once we take off, the external covers of who we are, and we look on the internal of what qualities of, our personalities, we kind of come to an agreement that we've got very similar characters. And that's kind of really helped our friendship grow and flourish. So, I mean, what did you think, Nick? How did you think that meant? Because I don't want to go into it too much, because anybody watching this video, I'd like them to watch that video that we did previous. So, yeah, what do you think, Nick?
I think I'm going to agree with what you said. I think just to touch on one of them was, and you and I have spoken about this for years and years and years, it's about that word justice. And once you take off, as we said in the last one, take off the outer layer that you're a black guy, I'm a white guy, absolutely irrelevant. It's irrelevant to a friendship. It's absolutely nothing to do with that. There's people, and I'm not going to go into it because we've kind of already decided there's certain things we're not going to talk about. But when you and I have got fundamental differences that not only don't get in the way, but actually for me enhance the friendship that we have. Because yes, we can rib each other over it, but Mike, when we've spoken, you said about you like friends to challenge you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so again, not to go into it too much, I tell you, Mike, can I ask you a question on this? First of all, so chuffed that me and you, we knew each other in school, always got on in school, everything was grand. Since leaving school, we kind of went our separate ways for no bad reason. We just went our separate ways. And now we've reconnected, and I honor and value the reconnection that we have. So I cherish that. However, what was your experience from, what's your understanding of this term friendship? This thing for you, what is it?
Well, I think what I've become aware of is that it does mean different things to different people. And my attitudes towards friendship and my palette has changed considerably from my formative years, from when I was younger to where I am in life now. As a grown man, really, as I said, as I look back, it's completely different. Now, when I was younger, it was about quantity, and now it's about quality. Really, my friendship group is a very small one, and I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. You mentioned it. I do like to be challenged. I don't like, respectfully and mutually respectfully. I think we should be able to tell each other where we perceive each other to be going potentially a little bit wrong, or add value where we possibly can. But because of the nature of our friendships, I believe that we've got that trust to be able to do that.
Yes,
that's very, very important, right? Loyalty to a point. I don't think loyalty is unconditional. I don't think it is, really, because I think, and I'm going to use the word, I think we all have a moral compass. We do, and there are things within our own moral compasses which are non-negotiables.
Yeah.
So if you did something, or Livingston did something which sat outside of my moral compass, depending on what that is, would my friendship with the pair of you be unconditional? And I'm going to say no. There are some things that friendship to one side, my moral compass won't allow me to compromise.
Love that.
Yeah, I get it. And this is what I was, discussing with Nick beforehand. Like our personalities are quite similar. We all got similar kind of values, and that helps to build. It's like having fertilizer within a flower pot. That's what allows it to grow, because we have a very similar kind of personality. So that personality, those core qualities, whether you call them values, morals, that are these ones that we have are very similar. So it helps us to make that development and that growth in terms of friends go a lot smoother.
So, if somebody's got a different set then of moral values and qualities, does that mean that you and them potentially might not be able to forge a friendship, would you say, both of you?
What would you say, Nick?
I would say that, say for example, Mike, me and you have spoken about this before. I don't like these, and we're not going to go into a political thing, but I don't like these terms: left wing, right wing, all of this kind of stuff. It's all BS in my opinion. But let's say, for example, I get introduced to somebody and he is stereotypical right wing, whatever that means, right? But he's talking with that kind of rhetoric. There's going to be certain elements of what he's talking about that I can not only relate to, that I might agree with. But as a whole, if he is that stereotypical right-wing person, how the papers portray it, then there would need to be a compromise, which means that I need to move towards that, which I'm not prepared to do. So
Or
that
he might be able to move to, or he might be able to move.
and he
away
might
from
be,
that
but
ideology.
yes, and he might be able to, Mike. But the reality is, if there's any movement where I have to move right leaning, stereotypically, I'm talking. No, it's not something I'm prepared to do. So you seem like a really cool guy, etc., etc. We could grab a coffee every now and again, maybe, but as a friend, that label friend, which no, it's not so. And I've got to be honest with you, and it's really at this age, I could count my friends on one hand, and I'm not sure I want anymore. You know, I'm quite happy with my lot.
I think look, my mum used to say like if you can count your friends on one hand, if you've got more than 5 friends basically, then you've got too many. And as I've got older, I've had to shed some of those friends to a certain degree. But you know, some of them I wouldn't even. It's not a matter that they were or were not friends. It's just that you have fair weather friends, don't you? You have friends that you associate with to do certain things. Let's say you go football. You know you got your football friends. They don't necessarily have the same kind of characteristics or personality as you, or going in the same direction as you, in terms of work or life in general. But they're still your football friends. But this is the thing: what is a friend? And how do you quantify what that real friendship is? And you know, some people might say it's a chosen brotherhood that you didn't necessarily have to share the same mother and father with.
Mm-hmm.
And I can kind of agree with that kind of philosophy, because my real friends, my real close friends, are like my brothers.
Yes,
probably even more so, because they're chosen, and I think like to a certain degree, that time and attention and detail put into those characters that I feel comfortable around. It's not something that I have to be around because that's my brothers. My family is my family. I have to be around my brothers. You don't have to get on with them, so to speak, but they're still your blood. So you're going to have some kind of relationship with them to a certain degree. But with my friends, I choose to have these relationships. And the reasons why I choose to have these relationships is because, you know, we share a lot of common, common things, the things that we're kind of related to. And you've touched on it about with regards to like being trust, loyalty, maybe a sense of humor, someone that, you know, will tell you about yourself if you're doing the wrong things, and you know, and then do that in the right manner. So yeah, I mean, that friendships are different, aren't they? I mean, and they are, you know, they are. They're seasonal.
So do you think sometimes we miscategorize people and put them into the wrong buckets? Because we all know people. I've got 70 odd, 80 odd contacts, probably more in my phone, but I don't know. As you said, if you got more than 5, is it more than 5 people on one hand? What did you say?
That's my mum always
no,
say. If you got more friends than you got on one hand, then you got too many. That's what she used to say.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you can't, as you said, you can't go to football with them, or you can't do business with them, or you can't do other things. But are they? I don't know. Are they friends?
It's in that category. I mean, one of the things that we're talking about here is the trust, Mike. Since we've reconnected after school, which, like I said to you, I'm blessed that we've done that. My bit here is, I trust you. I trust Mike Mendes to tell me if I'm turning left and I'm going somewhere that I shouldn't be going, or it's against your moral compass. I expect you, I trust you, and I expect you to say, Nick, what the are you doing, mate?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
pull me up on
Yeah.
it. Winston's
Yeah.
done that
Yeah.
for. I don't get me wrong. I've had to say that to Winston a lot more than he's had to say that to me over the years.
Maybe that's another pod. Is that another pod?
Well, I don't know actually. but
That's
Yeah.
a definite.
but the reality is, I know that these two gentlemen sitting in front of me now will say, Nick, what you doing? If I'm turning down a direction that you consider for myself. So there's no agenda in it as far as I'm concerned for you two apart from my well-being.
Yeah.
Now that is, you talk about family win. The amount of people I know that love their family members but don't necessarily trust their family members. I know a lot of people in that ilk. So when you say about trusting and choosing, I choose Mike because I trust him. I've got to know Mike enough to now know that I trust him. Me and you have had that for decades now. So yeah, and there's been a lot of culling along the way of people that are considered friends, and I still love them. I want the best for them, etc., etc. But I haven't got time for the head knocking anymore. I haven't got time for that now.
Yeah, it's a dilemma to start up new friendships at this age. I mean, you can have associates and colleagues and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that you know you have maybe business relationships with, or
Yeah.
or you have some kind of sporting interest or hobby. But in terms of having trustworthy friends, I don't. You know what? To be honest with you, I don't think I need anymore. I genuinely don't think I need anymore. I think with the friendship group that I've got, I value it. I've put a lot of work into that, and I believe
Yeah.
you guys have as well.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's an over 40 years worth of friendship. So, that is a long period of time, and we've done so much things together as friends, and we've supported one another in different ways over the years. And I mean, it's something that we can continue to develop as a discussion. We're not going to really get all of that information out in like 30 minutes. But as you could imagine, our friendship has changed. When I first got to know Nick, we used to play football a lot. Like yourself, Mike, used to play football a lot. That's what it was. What was our friendship was about. And then it turned into different things. And what was it that kind of, kept us communicating, kept us, gelled together? It's probably common interests, isn't it? So, if imagine if I was like into being a rockabilly or something like that when I was 10, 11, 12, 13 years of age. I don't think you two would have really wanted to know me because that wasn't really quite cool, was it? Really, at that particular point in time.
No.
So
No,
we shared things that we were really interested in, and most of that was sports and football, really. So yeah.
Do you know what? I just think even just listening to you there, it just brings a smile to my face because when I tell people that I'm actually like doing stuff with my you guys that I went to school with. 1981, really. Let's be honest about it. This goes back to 1981, and a lot of people are honestly legitimate. Really? And I said, yeah. I said these are my closest friends. These are my brothers. And I think people honestly they're kind of in awe of it because and I'm not sure if I don't want to take this for granted because this doesn't happen a lot,
Funny enough, I spoke to
it doesn't happen a lot. It doesn't. I know it happens,
doesn't.
but
No, it does. It happens, but not a lot. And
not a lot.
I did speak to a group of guys not long ago. We was actually we were speaking about role models, some work colleagues, and two other guys had known friends from. They were at similar ages to us when they were at secondary school, and there's something unique about that relation, those relationships that you have when you develop when you're a young man, because these guys were actually saying very similar things to what we were saying in terms of that friendship development and that bond that you have with these people that you've developed over a period of time. So there's something in that that long-term friendship, especially that's been developed at a young age. There, I don't know what the psychology would be of it, but certainly my closest friends are the ones that I've had since I was 11, 12 years old. Everything outside of that has either gone one way or the other. that I
Yeah.
don't really have those close relationships with them.
That
I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, when that development, what you're talking about, is something that we've spoken about before, which is, I think there was a bond at the beginning. There was a, Mikey mentioned it before, that it's almost like at the beginning, it's like this popularity thing. You and we won't go into it today, but you and I had that conversation, and I remember overhearing you. I was 11 years old. You know the reference that I'm talking about, the conversation that we had in the playground where there was about 20 of us hanging around talking about football after school. And
talk
you're
about it. Let's have a quick chat about. Let's go into that a little bit.
But
So-
you're
Just touch it. Yeah.
but
yeah,
the thing
yeah.
was, so I was
Yeah.
we was 11. There was about 20 of us talking about how we're going to go and kick ball after school. And I'm hearing each man going, yeah, I'm going to go and do this, I'm going to go and do this. And then Winston piped up with, are you lot fucking mad? I need to go home and do the dishes. Because my mum will me. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, in that immediate moment, Mike, in that immediate moment, I stood back and just thought, okay, here's somebody who's not trying to play the popularity game. I didn't think that at the time. I wouldn't have processed it or worded it in that way, but I just remember thinking, wow, honest. So why wouldn't I want to be around that? Now, irony is, look at the name of the podcast. Let's be
Let's be honest.
honest, because it's so important for me, Mike, that if I say something and I hold an opinion, that I'm able to share that with you two, no matter how off key you two feel it is. But I need to be able to say that to you and have you to accept that that's my belief. I'm not forcing that on you guys. And it's just that. But the reason why it's been so easy is because I think, Mike, me and you have spoken about it, and it's very similar. Me and Winston have had this from very young, which is I want justice for everyone in every walk of life, in every situation. I don't care.
Yeah.
Justice.
Yeah.
Whatever that, and that's not a political statement about this group or that group. It's not that. I'm just talking about day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
I just want justice, because I give about people. I care about people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. And I think all three of us hold that.
I mean, that's where we kind of have similarities, isn't it? We both kind of, again, cardinal qualities, you know, justice, peace, and all of that kind of stuff. That's quite, that comes as, you know, our nature. Don't get it twisted. I mean, we you know, there is, it can be, you know, violent if needed, but that's not a cardinal quality. It's not something that is a go-to for myself and probably both of you too, but some people it might be, and that's why they have friendships in that area. And that's why I don't think that I could be around somebody who was, you know, let's say for instance they're kind of like snarly and quite aggressive. Naturally that would just bring out the worst of me, and I wouldn't really want to be around that kind of person. You know what I mean? Jordan Peterson spoke about friendship and what was his word? He said that good friends facilitate one another's development. So I thought that's quite a good way of kind of like looking at it, you know, because genuinely I want the best for you guys, and I know for 100% that you want the best for me. So
100%.
I've got 100% trust in the two guys in this meeting right now. I mean, there's a couple of others, but you know, I know that these two guys, I have 100% trust in, and I would facilitate your development, and I think you would facilitate mine. So, but the thing is, what really kind of strikes me is how did we get here? And I think we need to develop that kind of, think about that a bit more. You know,
in terms of our relationships with one another.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, because it's been a long time. You know, what type of things have happened? Well, I mean, don't have to talk about it now, but what type of things have happened in the past that built that bond? And that level, and so that, you know, I know without any doubt now, as a grown man, that if I called you at 2 a.m. and I needed your support and help, you would be there. Yeah. You know.
And I think that
I don't have no doubt.
Yeah. And I agree with him, because you know, and this is another conversation, but I don't believe in coincidence. I just don't, right? And and there is something divine, whatever you want to call it, that's bonded us. Because Nick, I mean, we lost contact for a number of years, didn't we?
Yes. Yeah.
There were, with yourself.
I tried to keep you away, bro. It just didn't work.
Yeah, me too. But you keep coming back. You keep coming back, but I'm working on it. But and with yourself, when I hadn't seen you not so long, but we felt, but there was a which not for now, but there was something that really brought us back together.
Yeah,
So,
I remember. Yeah, I can remember.
Absolutely,
Yesterday.
absolutely. So, but I think we don't always agree on everything, and there's and again, I think somebody else has joined us there, Nick. And
Yeah,
but
it's my dog.
But what I like is the fact that we can respectfully chop it up and respectfully disagree, and we can respectfully learn when we do learn. And because I mean, I've learned a hell of a lot from both of you. Honestly, I have. You know what I mean, even the confidence to come on tonight, it's not something I would have done before.
Sure.
It's not. Yeah, but I feel totally confident in doing so because I feel safe with you two.
Yeah.
Somebody else asked me to do it, I'll probably think twice.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Mike. The one thing I want to add on to that is where you said about the development of how did we get here, because I'm so in. There's such a thing for me when if anybody younger, they would have turned off by now because we're three old codgers to them, and I get that. But there's something in this for me that if younger people hear this, what you were saying about if people have got this aggressive nature, I think having a relationship with me and you, Winston, and me and you, Mike, I think we kind of morph into each other's, we take on each other's characters anyway. I think that's just a part of human nature. Whoever you're around, you're going to morph into. So there's a lot of choosing in that. I've chose to be around Winston because of the honesty. I've chose to be around Mike because of how much I trust. So that kind of becomes a part of who I am as well over the years, if you like. So my hope is that if there are younger people, just choose wisely. I know that if I'd have stuck with my older group when I was back before I moved to Stratton Mill, Brixton Hill, if I'd have stuck with the older group there, I have no idea where I would be now. No, I don't believe it would be anywhere good.
See, the thing is that we've got, you're right, and we come from South London. I grew up in Brixton. You grew up in Norwood, Streatham, Croydon. These are the areas that we kind of come from. So we know what goes down, and it's not that we haven't been toe ragged because we've done naughty stuff, and but we've grown. We've grown through those periods as well. But it's what was it that stopped us from really going so far down that rabbit hole, so to speak? What was it? I mean, I don't want to go into detail right now, but I think maybe after this conversation, maybe we can really kind of touch on how we avoided going down that rabbit hole and why we did. Because to be honest with you, I was smart enough, and we're all smart enough that we could have done a lot of naughty stuff, but we didn't.
I remember, I mean, we won't go into, as you said, we won't go into it now, but I remember a very pivotal conversation with you, me, and Kay. And at that point, we was at a real crossroads. Where are we going here? What are we doing here? And there was three of us talking about it, and we decided on let's stay the positive path, if you like. And that was a real moment that I won't forget, because I don't know where we would be right now. You know,
no, so, totally get it.
But I get it. I so value the two sitting in front of me. Again, I know at 2:00 in the morning if I made a call. Well, let's be honest. When I've done it, I've called you at 2 a.m. We've spoken at those hours.
Yeah, we've both been there for one another. Difficult times in our lives. There's no doubt about it. We've been through that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just kind of like what when I spoke to my work colleagues about the same subject, and I said to them, what do you? I talked about 9 or 10 guys, and some of the qualities that I just said to them, what do you regard as? How do you define friendship? And some of the qualities that they mentioned. That was needed to create longevity in friendship was like loyalty and honesty, reliability, someone that you can call in the middle of the night and they'll be there to support you, and that celebrate your goods and support you through the bads.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think we kind of understand what that person does to facilitate that support, and to facilitate the growth of a friendship. What would you say, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I think I spoke to you about this, Nick. I think sometimes we do romanticize about friendship, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to be a bit more realistic sometimes regarding expectations of others and expectations of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
so because friendships, real friendships, take work.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Absolutely.
It does. I'm not saying that you have to call the person every minute of every day or every whatever, but showing up when required.
Yes.
You're talking about that 2 a.m. call.
Yeah.
You could, if you're a real friend, you should be able to, you should be able to make that call, and the person on the other end should be able to receive that call.
Well, get ready at 2 this morning, Mike.
Yeah. Well, what for? No, but you know what I mean?
That's another podcast.
That's another podcast. But I think we do. I think we romanticize about it. He's my friend, whatever. Friendship. Well, for me as a grown adult, I kind of know who my friends are.
Yes.
And my friendship group has shrunk dramatically over the years.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got 70 odd contacts in my phone, but not all of them are friends. No. And also historical friends as well. I've got some people that are not on this podcast now. Listen, huge amount of respect for them. I love them like anything. But my friendship with them has changed a little bit over the years. Doesn't mean they're not my friend, but we have a different type of friendship.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, if we can, I'm aware of time, gents. So you tell me, but I kind of want to, anyone that sees this, my bit here is, this is, compared to other podcasts, this isn't as polished. It's going to be really not very well run, etc., at the moment. But it's like anything, right? We're gonna grow.
Grime is spit and sawdust stuff.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's gonna grow, and we will get better at this. We will find ways of improving this. But it's the content that we're talking about, and there is going to be some. I'm waiting. I've been very fortunate at the moment that I haven't been cursed as hard as I could have been on this podcast.
Yes.
But
Yes.
No, I hear that, Mike. I hear that.
No, I just wanted to put that in, but go on.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
See, innuendos. Just please be careful, Mike.
No.
If there's any sponsors out there that can grow back here, please get in contact.
Yeah. So can I just point out, I don't need that, but I just thought I would say that.
Yeah.
I've got
the size that you do.
Yeah, I've got a question. In terms of what we've discussed thus far,
yeah,
do we have any individual takeaways from this conversation tonight?
Yes, I do. Which is one thing to develop is when I hear the guys that you was talking about the word loyalty and how important that is. I think a lot of people, and I'm not accusing those guys, but I think a lot of people use this term, and I've given that term years of thought. And I'm not sure that everybody would agree on what the definition of that word is. Because if I'm honest with you, the two gentlemen in front of me now, I'm loyal to me. And because of the guys that I've chosen as friends of mine, I don't even need to step out of my, as you guys said, the moral compass, the value system. You guys are not going to bring anything to me that will make me have to be loyal in whatever this means. So the word loyalty is one that I think needs to be looked at, what that means for each individual.
Sure. It's a good point. I think for me, it's the key kind of steps along the road that keep the friendship going. And how does it get there? Why does it get there? I think those things I need to kind of really kind of go back and kind of assess them and give more information on, because I think if we're going to be able to help anybody, which I think that we could do, because somebody might be listening to this younger than ourselves, older than us, we don't know. that could take something from it. I think we need to develop and understand how we've got here to a certain degree. And we know that there's a lot of qualities that have helped us to get there. So exploring them, just like you're saying, loyalty, I think that would be good. I think that would be very good. So yeah, I think that's the kind of things that I'll be taking away from this, and I'd expand on that, as we, develop the conversation.
Cool. What about yourself, Mike?
Just, listening to you both tonight has made me kind of a bit more, aware, appreciative, I would say, to be honest, because there are going to be people on this podcast, hopefully, that are listening to this who may not be as lucky as what we are, really, to have known, for me to have known you guys the length of time that I've known you, and to be in a position, quite a fortunate position, to have really strong, positive friendships. Well, not even friendships, you're like brothers to me. Let's have it right, So I feel extremely lucky, that, and for me, that's what I'm going to take away. Not everybody's in this privileged position. I'm lucky, and I want to continue to be lucky, and I'm going to work hard to maintain my friendships with the both of you.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the same, Mike. I feel the same.
Sorry, I could have packaged it up a bit better, but
No. That's fine. That's fine, bro. And I get it. And
I was trying to avoid laughing, to be honest with you.
I know, me too. I nearly laughed myself. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's not true. No, I'm joking. It's true.
Well, just before we go, I've got to say that. So the one bit I wanted to laugh at, Mike, is when we was talking about moral compasses. That's the bit I wanted to laugh at.
If you want it.
Leave it out.
Yeah. Well, let's not go there now.
Yeah.
Okay, gents. What do you reckon, Mike? Is that a good place to kind of wrap it up?
I think that's a good place to kind of wrap it up. So thank you to you both of you. I look forward to because we're going to meet weekly now, aren't we? We're going to meet weekly. Are we going to have because this is in its embryonic state in terms of a podcast. So how do we want to run our session? What do we want to do? Are we going to pick a different topic every week? Are we going to freestyle? How do we, what are we going to do here?
Mike, we've got less than a minute left. So I think that's a really good place to pause this now. And that, I think, is a point of discussion for next week.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Peace and love, gentlemen.
Peace and love, guys. Thank you so much.
See you soon.
My love.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.